Alright, YouTube, this is going to be a video about how to carry your concealed carry weapon depending on what weapon you have. I personally have a semi-auto, which is different than carrying a revolver, obviously. Revolver is going to be a little harder to conceal than a semi-auto. Really depends on what revolver, what semi-auto you have. This is going to be more of a video on whether you're going to carry empty chambered or one in the chamber. Empty chambered is called Israeli carry for all intents and purposes. And full chamber is called condition 1 carry. So how do I carry personally? Well, I do have my semi-auto, and I do personally carry it cocked and locked with one in the chamber. But for right now, we'll make the weapon safe. Weapon is safe. Here's my magazine. I'm going to reload. I will actually go change out this ammo for dummy rounds, just because I really don't want to accidentally shoot something. So give me 1 second. Well, sorry about not being prepared. It's kind of a fly by the seat of your pants video in which I really didn't expect to do it right now. Obviously, because my dummy rounds aren't even in this case where they usually are. So, again, 1 second. Okay, so as you can see, I just brought myself another magazine, another 7-round magazine for my Walther. Again, this is empty, 100% tactile, completely empty. So now there are a few reasons why one would carry condition 1 and why one wouldn't carry condition 1 at all, but I will show you a few reasons why too, maybe a few reasons why not. And actually this problem is very, very simple if you have a revolver, because a revolver, you can load independent chambers on your cylinder, and more often than not, god damn this freaking magazine, more often than not, you're not going to load the chamber that's directly under the hammer, because almost all revolvers are double action only at this point. Well, not double action only, the double single action, depending if you cock the hammer or not. But most revolvers right now are double action, which is how one would carry a revolver, because they do not have external safeties. Even if they're not double action, if they're single action, pulling the hammer back would be your safety. You could carry it hammer down. So what my dad does when he carries is he loads all of his cylinders except for the one directly under the hammer, and he leaves the pistol in double action mode. So when he pulls the trigger, cylinder rotates to a hollow point in the next chamber, and then the hammer drops, firing it. Myself, on the other hand, I have a semi-auto, so I do carry one in the chamber all the time. I started carrying one in the chamber in public and carrying Israeli at home, but then I figured I really, really had to standardize it, or I was just going to confuse myself whether I had one in the chamber or not, and that's not a really good thing to be confused about. So, pistol is empty. magazines full of dummy rounds. I will go ahead and insert this. And this right now is known as Israeli carry. If I was to put this in my holster and carry this around, it'd be called Israeli carry. There are a few benefits to Israeli carry. One is that no matter how hard you pull this trigger, nothing will ever go off. Nothing will go off. You cannot shoot yourself. You cannot shoot someone accidentally. I mean, it's a good way to carry if you're not confident with carrying. If you're confident with your weapon, you know your weapon will fire, that's fine. But if you're not confident with carrying, it can be a little nerve-wracking to carry condition 1. So a lot of people choose Israeli carry because it is safer. If someone takes your gun from you out of your holster and pulls the trigger, nothing will happen. They have to rack the slide, which gives you a little bit of time, especially because they don't know that they have to rack the slide. They're going to pull the trigger first and nothing's going to happen. I mean, you could always, even carrying Israeli, you could always set the trigger without having a round in the chamber, so when they pull the chamber, trigger, all I hear is click, and then something's up. You can always set the trigger. I wouldn't set the trigger, but that's just me. Again, I wouldn't carry Israeli either, for the reason that carrying condition 1 is all around better, depending on if you're very confident with carrying your weapon. Carrying condition 1 has a lot of advantages. One of the main advantages is that you're cocked and locked and ready to go. This weapon has no external safety. It has no slide safety. It has no grip safety. All it has is the safety action trigger and an internal safety to prevent it from firing. And the internal safety works really well. I get this gun pretty warm on my body, and God, I've never had an accident, and I really don't expect to. Carrying condition 1 is also beneficial because you are able to defend yourself at a moment's notice. Opportunities to defend yourself rarely ever present themselves. Like, oh, I think I'm going to defend myself at 5 o'clock. That rarely ever happens. Almost never happens. You never watch something develop and then all of a sudden think, oh, I may have to defend myself. Maybe I should load my gun. Most of the time, it's, holy shit, pull it out of the holster, bang, bang. And that's all you got. So carrying condition 1, I recommend it highly. But there's a reason why. And the reason why is because, watch this. If I'm carrying Israeli, I put it in my holster. Now I'm holstered up. Now, if a threat were to present itself to me right now, I have to go and on target. That just seems ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Especially, yeah, you know what, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But this is carrying condition 1 now, because I'm racked and chambered. This is a dummy round, remember that. So, put that back in my holster. Now let's say a threat presented itself right now. All I have to do is go, and I'm on target. And I'm ready to pop rounds into anything I need to. Very, very simple, very quick. But there's another reason why I do not like Israeli carry. And that is the doctrine of necessary force. Was it necessary for you to shoot them? Was it necessary for you to kill them if you're going to kill them? One thing that carrying condition 1 gives you, the advantage that carrying condition 1 gives you, it is carry condition 1 right now, is that I can use my hands, I can defend myself, I can punch and fight back, I can hold an assailant at bay and grab my weapon and put 2 in their abdomen while holding my assailant at bay. Let's say I'm carrying Israeli. That'd be carrying Israeli right now, even though I only have 6 in the mag, not 7. But still carrying Israeli. Say I'm fighting off an attacker, threatening to kill my spouse, whatever. Fighting them off, got him at bay with one hand, pull my other hand, I can't fire. I cannot get them to let me go. I'd have to rack it. How do I rack this? Like, I set the trigger. Great. There's no round in the chamber. I mean, I cannot rack it one-handed unless I use my shoe or hold it between my knees or have my spouse rack it for me. I mean, there's just not a good situation there. Not anything you would really ever like to see develop. Another reason for carrying condition 1, like it needs any more reasons, but anyway, another reason for carrying condition 1 like this is, say, I don't know how many of you have significant others, but I do. I walk hand in hand with mine, left hand in her right hand, and we walk holding hands. Let's say someone comes up and pulls a knife out, starts to lunge at us, at her, at me. She gets scared, grabs my hand, ducks behind me. I draw. I can fire. I can fire. With my hand being tied up by her clenching my hand, scared. Maybe she, forgot that she needs to take cover and run the hell away. And something happens where this hand's disabled. I can still go ahead and fire. I can't reload. I can drop a mag, but I can't reload. But I can still go ahead and fire and put rounds on target. One-handed rounds on target. Carrying condition 1. Carrying Israeli, I cannot do that. Carrying Israeli, it's funny because my local gun shop, I told them about, carrying condition 1 and how the spouse has to, take cover, run the hell away, get out of sight, because what they're going to do is, even if they hold your hand and you sweep them behind them or they go down, they're fidgeting around, you're trying to put rounds on target, and your gun's all over the place, and you cannot put rounds on target. My local gunsmith said, punch her in the throat. Set her down on the ground. Wife's going to kill you when you get home, but hey, she lived. Punch her in the throat. And I was like, I don't want to punch her in the throat. So this is definitely an advocacy for carrying condition 1. I think there really is no other way anyone should carry besides condition 1. Just make sure you have a good holster that covers your trigger and covers most of your trigger frame, or you're going to have an accident. And I don't say, oh, you may have an accident. You're probably going to have an accident. If you go to grab for that gun quickly and your holster is not covering this trigger frame, you're probably going to grab the trigger and close your hand around it, and it's not a good thing. So I do recommend carrying condition 1. I do recommend a good holster. If you're not comfortable with carrying condition 1, I really, really strongly suggest you do some training with your pistol and yourself and get comfortable carrying condition 1. It is the best way to carry if you're going to defend your life, the life of your loved one, or the life of someone you're with. Above all, remember a couple things. 1, no matter how you carry, make sure to carry it that way all the time. If you're going to carry Israeli all the time. If you're going to carry condition 1, carry condition 1 all the time, so you don't confuse yourself knowing if you have one in the chamber or not. The first couple days, I didn't carry Israeli all day, or I didn't carry chambered all day. I went up to my room to unload and go to sleep, and I thought to myself, I don't remember if I have a round in the chamber. And so I had to take my gun out, fully clear it like I do every night, but just being extra cautious whether I had a round in the chamber or not. So remember to carry the same way all the time. Also remember that gun safety is your responsibility. I am not responsible for anything that happens to you, your weapon, or any of your family members, pets, floor, carpet, anything, because of the way you carried or because you couldn't carry confidently and you accidentally discharged. Remember that gun safety is your responsibility, and please be safe while doing this. Thank you very much, and you guys have a good one, and hope to see you again back soon. I'm about to re-review my holster again, and so I hope you guys check that out. Thanks.